All right, good morning. So I'm off to work and thought I would record another vlog. This one might actually be the first vlog that makes it to YouTube. So I've done a couple of practice sessions. मला पाठवा ना काय ते मी करतो. हा ते असू दे रेकॉर्डवर. बाय. Okay, so that was my dad asking me to do a task for him. Okay, so yeah, so I've done a couple of practice videos now, feeling confident, so I thought I will introduce the concept of bald old monk. So yeah, so let's start from the beginning. I was always of the opinion that if you start losing your hair on the head, just there's a certain point where you know, right? इतना हो गया, इतना हो गया, इतना हो गया, या फिर bald patches, whatever that is. Once you reach the point of no return, just go bald and don't worry about it, because I think you're then committed to the dark side or the bald side, right? So that's my thought process, and thankfully my parents and wife both supported this. So they're like, yeah, do what you want, it's your hair, it's your head, whatever. And the hairstyle or the lack of hair thereby has stayed, so that's a good thing. It looks good once you get used to it. Anything looks good once you get used to it, right? So it really doesn't matter. So went ahead and did that. The old monk comes from not the obvious place. I'm not talking about the alcohol here, but I'm talking about just this old soul feeling that I've always had my entire life, that my soul is really old. I have lived for a long time, which is somewhat in line with, you know, past life regression and all of those thought processes. Although I don't subscribe to Punarjanam and all of that, but yeah, so always felt that I have been around for much longer than my current age. So that's where the old comes from, and monk comes from just my empathy, or I feel that I'm a good listener. People feel comfortable talking to me. In some sense, I don't really know the latest and greatest definitions, but I would call myself an empathetic person. I think they call it an empath, where I can project others onto myself and think of what they are thinking and their thought process, etc. So that's how the name Bald Old Monk came. Plus it's unique. There's no other Bald Old Monk handle, and on social media, and I have changed my Instagram handle to be the reverse of BaldMonk. So it reads as KNOMDLAB, just for fun. And I plan to vlog as much as possible. Currently it seems like these drives to work or drives from work to work, because I'm fresher in the morning than while coming back home, will be the timings that I will record these vlogs. See how we can gain more followers, see how we can gain more traction. So that's the introduction of Bald Old Monk for you, and that was all that I intended to record today. But let's see, let's chat away. I wanted to talk about these day-to-day interactions that we have with people around us. So this was a topic that was in my head for a while. So I wanted to talk about that on the vlog. It's really amazing how many people you interact with on a daily basis, right? How many people you meet, be it a pull event or a push event. So pull event is when I go ahead and talk to someone, and push event is when someone comes and talks to me. These are marketing terms. I love marketing and the internet. So pull events tend to be more, how do I say this, more fulfilling because you're approaching someone and you have certain expectations from that conversation, and therefore it feels better. Push events, when someone approaches you, have a mixed bag. They can either be very happy events, or they could be negative events as well. I'm not saying that when you approach someone, a negative outcome won't come from it, but you at least intended to talk to that person, and therefore you'll accept the positive negative side of it. So that's the thought that I wanted to share according to my day-to-day experiences. I feel that if I go ahead and talk to someone, I feel better. I think even for me, it's just talking. Even this vlogging is going to help. I can avoid human contact if that is possible. Yeah. So examples of positive push events where someone came and spoke to you tend to be more in the workplace, because these people are familiar with you, you're familiar with them, and they come and approach you. So this I experience on a daily basis because I go to office every day, and not everyone comes to office, except for I think like 3 or 4 of us are definitely every day in office. There's no hybrid forced rule in our office, so it's optional, and many of our team members are outside of the town of Pune as well. So in office I often get these like people who rarely come to office, and therefore they are happy, and they come by, just have a small chat, and then go on about their day. Even if they're in office by a forced reason, for example their laptop has broken down or something like that, they would still have a pleasant conversation with me. So I feel that these are good experiences. The bad ones are obviously in public places, or just close family, because family tends to know you better. I wouldn't say bad, but yeah, some sense of negativity. Maybe even I am thinking negatively. That could be the reason, right? But then in public, on the roads, and just social interaction outside of your contacts is definitely a negative experience. People have a lot of baggage. They are struggling with different things in their life, and they tend to project that onto you. Tends to be negative. So simple example is someone cutting lanes. They will expect that you accept their behavior. And it's funny, I had this incident where this two-wheeler was coming on the wrong side of the road. I was dropping a friend of mine, and while I was getting to the side of the road to drop him, the two-wheeler person who was coming from the wrong side to my left gave me a scowl and was like, "What the f are you doing?" Whereas he was in the wrong. He was coming from the wrong side, and he's like, "What, are you going to dash into me or something like that, crash into me?" Which was funny. I was just getting to the side of the road. I was on the right side of the law, not the right side, the left side, but that is the right side of the law. But yeah, so funny things like these happen, and it's up to you what you make of these events, right? I think the thought process or the thoughts that I wanted to share were more pertaining to how you react to these situations, essentially. Knee-jerk reaction is to get angry or to, react, so to say, which obviously is never healthy, and it could also lead to problems on the road for you. So, and especially in India, you should not do that. But it's difficult. It's easy to say, easier said than done. You have to somehow find your cool or react and then stop at a certain point. I don't know. I would change my reaction based on the audience or the people with whom you're interacting. There's so many ways that you could spend your energy, so many more fruitful ways that you could spend your energy, right? I feel I get into this mode of comedian when I'm driving, so I try to make light of it, crack jokes on people's behavior, and so that I don't react. It isn't always easy to do that. So yeah, and on the other side of things, when you're driving or when you're in a hurry, it's really difficult to maintain your composure, right? You're in a hurry, you're late, you are going to behave exactly the same way that this person is behaving. The only way to sort of do that in India is to have self-control. If you were somewhere in a first world country, then the fines will be the deterrent. So there'll be a heavy enough penalty or a fine that you need to pay for belligerent driving. So in India, it has to be self-control. I find it much easier to drive in the US, where I've driven at least like 15 days worth of. I've done 15 days worth of driving in my overall last 6 trips that I've been there. So every time I have been there, I rent a car and I drive around the town that I am in on the weekend. So the best experiences I've had are in Seattle. I've been there 4 times, I guess, and each time I've rented, except for the last time, but each time I've rented a vehicle, driven around, Then the second best is New York. Although New York downtown is not a good place to drive, I would say New Jersey or the outskirts there would be a good place. But New York late at night is beautiful. New York on weekends is even more beautiful. So definitely would recommend that. And my latest was in the state of California, where I had to pick up a rental as necessity. The place that I was in is a small county town in California, where I had gone for work, and there was very less reliable public transit available. So it was the only best option was to take a rental of your own. So that's what I had done. And yeah, this time was like, now we are in November. I had visited California in July. So it was pleasant, it was nice and sunny. I'm saying that sarcastically. I've had enough sun for my entire life now. And it was just using the vehicle for commute. I was working there, so I was using it as a commute, and then whenever I got off of work, I used to roam around in the evenings. So and also I spent a good 2 days on the weekend just exploring the entire area. So yeah, so that was fun. The thing that I noticed regarding vehicles, and I think vehicles are going to be a recurring theme. Cars are something that I really like. I really like to talk about. So in this vlog, definitely vehicles will be a recurring theme. So I was talking about my recent trip to California. I got a Hyundai there. It was decent. It was the Hyundai Elantra 2023 model. Elantra or Sonata? Sorry. Hyundai Sonata 2023 model. And it had all of the bells and whistles. It had yes sir, please go ahead. Idiots on Pune roads. So yeah, it was the Hyundai Sonata 2023 model that I drove. It had lane keep assist. It had what's it called, cruise control. It had advanced driver aid systems. So I got an experience of driving a really good vehicle, although it was a Hyundai. I think the problem or just the concern in India is that these brands, global brands, tend to use substandard materials when bringing cars to India. Because globally I've had great experiences with Kia and Hyundai, and obviously because they tend to be used by rental companies more. But I've driven a Kia in New York and a Hyundai this time, and then the earlier times in Seattle I mostly got a 4.2, which is made by the Daimler company, so the smaller ones. But yeah, I think Hyundai as a brand is good, but it's not that good in India. That's the problem. I myself chose Tata in India, and I need to slow down now because I need to take a turn. Sorry. Yeah. So I myself have chosen Tata, mainly for the automated gearbox. Fun fact: if you are not watching this from India, then I'll let you know that in India, majority of the vehicles are stick shifts or manual gear shift based. I chose this one for an automated gearbox, and the ground clearance I was tired of driving on roads with huge ditches and potholes and not having enough ground clearance, you know. So this time I chose a vehicle with good ground clearance and an automatic gearbox. So those were my two criteria. The safety aspect of Tata and everything else was incidental. I did not like, that wasn't the reason for making the choice for me. So yeah, okay, I rambled on for quite a bit. Now we've reached office. I will upload this hopefully today itself, and let's see how people feel about it. I'll use good hashtags. All right, just follow me, comment, like, though I don't know how far we're from that, but I hope I get some subscribers. Yeah. All right, thank you, bye.